Some Derry good news, some Derry good news. We all could use some Derry good news.
It's April umpteenth, so that means it's time for some more Derry good news. This week's episode is brought to you by Chipotle. If you're going to get sick anyway, Chipotle. Kidding. Kind of. There've been experiences. But for reals though, Chipotle gets a shout out for teaming up with soccer star Christian Pulisic to donate meals every week to the team at Hershey Med. Thank you, Christian, and thank you, Chipotle, and thank you to all those frontline workers at the Med Center. Now we've had 7 weeks, can you believe it? 7 weeks of live stream only worship services now. We're all getting used to worshiping in our pajamas and post-worship fellowship sponsored by items in my pantry, and things in my refrigerator. Honestly, I'm a bit afraid when everyone comes back to church. They'll be happy to see everyone, that's great, but a little disappointed that they can't use the fast forward and mute features anymore. To be fair, I've enjoyed the mute power I have when hosting Zoom calls, so it goes both ways. I'm looking at you, Joey Owsley. 7 weeks, though. Can you believe it? Now, I know there's a temptation to just want to get back to normal. But I want to remind you that Noah didn't show his faith by swimming in the storm and through the waves. He showed it by sheltering in place on the ark. Of course, you might point out that he only had to spend 40 days and 40 nights in there. At least we don't have to deal with a house full of animals. Though from some of your Facebook posts, I believe you're putting your children in that category now as they've gone feral. With that, I think we could use some Derry good news. This week has continued our commitment to mission work and giving. Because of some special generous donations, we were able to send additional monetary support to the Hershey Food Bank and to Pakistan to help our neighbors here and over in Pakistan have enough to eat. We've sent over $2,000 more to these locations. Some of the money we sent to Pakistan came from the creativity of Lois Harris. Last year, Lois noticed a box of old Session House towel ornaments slated to be sold in our annual jumble shop. She rescued those ornaments and asked, hey, instead of selling these for just $1, could I sell them at church? We have many members who haven't had a chance to buy these. We haven't sold them in years. I'd like to use the proceeds to support the Sargodha School in Pakistan to potentially build a new wing. And so she asked the Session. Session said, sure, sell them before Christmas. Sell them during the special Sunday school that the traveling group is presenting. The original plan was to put some of this money towards building that new wing of the school, but in light of this current pandemic and just some of the food issues over there, the need for food, she wanted to be able to send that money right away to help families have enough to eat. Thank you, Lois, for that Derry good news. We also heard that one of our mission partners, Stop the Violence in Harrisburg, was in desperate need of masks and gloves. So, of course, our Mission and Peace Committee went to work, and it was a true team effort. By the end of the day, we were able to provide Stop the Violence with 250 masks and several packages of gloves and much-needed paper towels. Everyone on the committee pulled together to find the resources and get them to Harrisburg. Special thanks to Kristen Campbell for alerting us to the need and helping to make things happen. Whenever we can help our neighbor, it's Derry good news indeed. Last week, we mentioned that Lauren Reed celebrated her 16th birthday party at home with family, but was treated to special video messages from friends and family.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Lauren. Happy birthday to you.
Cha-cha-cha. Yeah.
Lauren, we hope you had a good birthday and that your parents felt guilty enough that you couldn't have a real party, that you got some really nice stuff. Hopefully that's some Derry good news for you. This week also marked the end of college exams for some of our members. Lizzie Peace finished her last freshman year exam last week and celebrated with ice cream and a movie with Mom. Congratulations, Lizzie. You know that we have some amazingly talented artists at Derry who continue to brighten lives and rooms with art. But one artist has been brightening driveways and sidewalks, as well as smiles. In March, just before the general stay-at-home order was issued, Rachel Potter and her friend Abby decided to meet at Shank Park and do a huge chalk drawing to share a positive, encouraging message to anyone who happened to pass by. The two of them spent 3 to 4 hours drawing their "No rain, no flowers" message. A couple of days later, the stay-at-home order was issued. So Rachel started drawing pictures and messages at the end of their driveway so that their neighbors could see the drawings while they were out walking. Each drawing takes her about 2 hours, and she's done about 6, almost one a week, since the stay-at-home order. Some of their neighbors have commented on how much they enjoy seeing her drawings and how she's inspired her others, including her sister, to do drawings too. For Rachel, the art is an outlet. It gives her a purpose, a stress relief, a way to connect with others. Also, a reason to spend time outside. For the rest of us, it's a beautiful reminder of hope and the good that's in the world. Thank you, Rachel, for sharing your talents and being Derry Good News. This week we have a special guest on the show. The Reverend Pam Mylans joined me earlier for a special interview. I want to share that with you now. I am with Reverend Pam Mylans. Is it Mylans?
Yes.
Hooray, I got it right. It is Pam Mylans with us on some Derry Good News to kind of answer some questions. She's our candidate for the Associate Pastor position for Youth and Families. We're really excited for her to be able to come out once, travel is allowed again. But you hopefully, everybody has read a little bit about her, seen her introduction video, but this is good news. This is some Derry good news. So we're going to have more fun. So, Pam, the most important question obviously comes first. What is your favorite Hershey product?
That is an easy one, actually. I love Reese's Peanut Butter Cups. However, I would say even better than the peanut butter cups are the ones that are shaped like eggs and Christmas trees and pumpkins. They've got the perfect chocolate to peanut butter ratio, in my opinion.
See, here's the problem. You stole mine.
Oh, no!
I mean, that is the correct answer. It is the correct answer to the question is the seasonal Reese cups because the peanut butter to chocolate ratio is much better.
Yeah, it's the perfect ratio. I have found that the Reese's Thins also have a really good ratio.
Especially I like the dark Thins better than the milk chocolate Thins.
I have not gotten to try the dark Thins yet. I will have to do that.
See, here's the problem with Hershey, Pennsylvania and Derry Church. We have a constant supply of Hershey candy in the office, and you realize you might get diabetes after being here a year because, when they first came out with the Thins, we had people who here's some sample products. And then you eat 12 of them. And you're like, oh my gosh, I just had 12 Reese's Thins. And then you say, but they're thin, so it's okay.
Yeah, it's 12 of them is probably 4 regular Reese's.
And that's basically a king size that you get at the movie theater.
Exactly.
I like how we rationalize this.
Yes.
I also would have accepted the new Reese's Take 5. It's also pretty good. But peanut butter in the pure Reese cup, Christmas tree, heart, pumpkin, always better. All right, so you got the correct answer on that one. All right, next question. Share a memory of a youth group event or thing that always just makes you laugh hysterically.
Okay, so I went on a retreat. It was my first retreat with the youth at the church where I am finishing up my service. And on the way back, we each were picking music. So one person at a time would pick a song. And we pulled into the church parking lot after about 2.5 hours on the road, just shouting the chorus of a song called I'm Gonna Be by a band, The Proclaimers. And it's just a whole lot of, it goes da 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 da, da 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 dum da da dum da da dum da 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 da. And it does that a couple of times. Just everyone was shouting it out the windows, and the parents looked at us like we were coming back from like somewhere that maybe we should have been institutionalized instead of at a retreat. And it was just a blast. And hearing all the different music tastes everybody had, and everybody, having their, 5 minutes of this is what I love, was just a really great memory. But especially that Proclaimers song at the end there. It's one of my favorite songs of all time.
They also had the great hit, I Would Walk 500 Miles.
That's the same song, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, I thought it was, but didn't know what the actual title of it.
Yes, it's called I'm Gonna Be, and then in parentheticals, it's 500 Miles.
All right, it's a great song. So
yes, it is.
I was on a youth group retreat to Gatlinburg, Tennessee once, and we were going whitewater rafting. There's this one kid, junior high kid, who was just an interesting kid, but he was in the front of the raft behind a bunch of the leaders, and he was wearing this yellow helmet we all had to wear, but the way he was wearing it and the look on his face was just the funniest thing I think we had ever seen. So we're just cracking up looking at him. He got the nickname Yellow Helmet after that. It was just, it was a sight to see.
Perfect.
Next question. Name 3 of your favorite musical artists or bands. They don't have to be, top 3 in order. This is the ultimate list, but 3 of your favorite artists, bands, groups.
Okay. So I'm gonna stick to my Jersey roots and go with Bon Jovi for one of them.
Nice.
I still always smile whenever I hear the Backstreet Boys. I grew up during that.
Back. All right.
Exactly. Yes.
I used to know their little chair dance that you could do the chair and the flippy thing. Yeah.
Nice. I in college for a variety show, me and a couple people learned the dance from the music video to Everybody. So the Thriller kind of dance that they. So that's one I used to know. And then a third, and this might be a cop out, but I really love Broadway and show tunes. So I'm going to go with a composer and say Stephen Sondheim.
Nice.
Into the Woods, Me Todd, Merrily We Roll Along, A Little Night Music. I love pretty much everything that I have heard that he's done, and I've heard most of what he's done.
Into the Woods is a good half of a musical.
Not a fan of the second half?
No. This gets weird. Just stop. Stop while you're ahead. I do like Sondheim, though. So I would go kind of similar. Oh, when we get our new organ, one of the things I want to do is have our organist play Living on a Prayer with just the organ and a drum set.
Ooh,
that
sounds
actually
fun.
Works really well.
That sounds fun. I like it.
It's on YouTube.
Okay, I will have to find that.
So I think for me, I'm going to go with one of my classic old favorites. I love the albums of Paul Simon. Just love some good Paul Simon. Right now, I'm enjoying Lewis Capaldi. He's like the Scottish male Adele. Mm-hmm. And then I was going to go with the Hamilton cast recording. I love a lot of Broadway. Love Hamilton. I love Dear Evan Hansen. I love some of the older stuff. Book of Mormon. I like a lot of Broadway stuff.
That's when I started thinking I'm going to go show tunes. I almost went Hamilton, but I had to take it back to my man Steve.
I like him. Yeah. So you have to think about, if we do another Broadway night, what song you'll do.
Ooh.
I did Book of Mormon, You and Me, but mostly me last year with somebody.
Ooh, okay. Mm-hmm.
It's the only Book of Mormon song that's appropriate you can do in church.
Yes, I would say that sounds about right. Yeah.
All right, next question. Besides church and all of that, what excites you about moving to Hershey?
So on the surface, the word Hershey is just very exciting. You mentioned chocolate in the office and things like that. But also it is much closer to my parents than where I am right now. My parents live in New Jersey, and I'll be about 2 hours away from where they are. So that is exciting. Where I am right now, I am 8 hours or so by car. And so it's tough to see each other. It's tough. A couple months back at this point, I had a stomach flu and it was very bad. I couldn't get out of bed. And I just wanted my mom and she couldn't be here. So, I hope I don't get that sick again, but.
Especially now with COVID. We don't want to talk about getting sick.
Sorry, my dog just started barking. But yeah, so just being closer to my parents is really exciting. You said besides church, so that takes a lot of the things that I know about the area and about why I'm coming out of the equation for this answer. But definitely being closer to home, which also means closer to good bagels, closer to pork roll, and closer to the New Jersey Devils, my favorite sports team.
Martin Brodeur back in the day.
Oh, yes.
When we moved from Illinois, it was kind of similar. Our families were in South Carolina, so that was about 12 hours away. Moving here put them about 8 hours away. But then my mom actually moved up here. Now she's like 2 minutes away, so there's that.
Oh, cool.
But we just liked that it was so close to so many things. Because in Peoria, Illinois, we were 3 hours from Chicago or St. Louis, and then 12 hours from anything else of consequence. But here, I mean, you got New York, Philadelphia, Baltimore, Washington. We have a family cabin up in upstate New York that's, now only 8 hours away or 7 versus 15. So just being around a lot of interesting things.
Yeah.
All right, next important question. Favorite cooperative tabletop board game?
Tabletop board game, I'm going to have to go, this is timely, Pandemic.
That is the correct cooperative answer.
Okay, good. It's, for those who don't know, it's a game where I've not played it with more than 4. I think there's expansions that you can add people in, but you get roles and you're basically trying to save the world from 4 diseases. And so, like I said, it's a little bit timely right now.
I'll be Dr. Fauci.
It's nice to work together. It's nice to have the same goal rather than trying to stop one another. So it's a nice change in pace from the average board game.
Yeah, like I used to play Risk with people at church, and then we all hated each other. So then
Yes.
we found like cooperative board games. So Pandemic was definitely one of my favorites. I have Pandemic Legacy, which you can like go on and kind of it builds on itself. So that's a good one.
Oh, cool. I had not heard of Pandemic Legacy yet, so that's nice. I like
have
to
look into that one.
Yeah.
You did answer correctly. I also would have accepted Elder Scroll or Elder Sign. Castle Panic also is pretty good. And then if you could meet one celebrity who you think you could be really good friends with, who would it be and why?
really good friends with.
Like, who is your secret celebrity best friend?
I think
They just don't know it yet.
My secret celebrity best friend who doesn't know it yet, I think would be Chris Evans, Captain America.
Nice. That's going to make Emma Taylor happy, one of our youth.
Okay, fantastic. Just seems like an all-around wonderful guy, would be a great friend, loves dogs. I think if we're going celebrity best friend, I think I got to go with Chris Evans.
Cool. I'm going to go with Nathan Fillion.
Who
doesn't love Nathan Fillion? He's ruggedly handsome. But he cracks me up. Like his Instagram and Twitter, just his Facebook game is strong. Likes a lot of the geek stuff, and just seems like a good guy. I think we'd be good friends. Second would be David Tennant.
Oh, that's another really good answer. Yeah.
I like your... Wheaton and I could be friends, too.
Huh?
I think Will Wheaton and I could be friends, too.
Yes. Yeah, you've got some really good answers. Now I'm thinking in, like, different directions now, and I'm thinking of Felicia Day.
Ooh, she's a good one. Man, I missed The Guild. That was a great show.
Oh, they just played a live stream charity of Dungeons and Dragons as their characters.
What?
And Fantastic. Yeah, you can probably find it on her Twitch stream.
She's a good answer. Neil Patrick Harris would also be a one for me. He seems fun. And he likes Broadway.
Yes, yeah.
We just need to invite all these people to Derry, and then we can all be friends.
Perfect. I like the way you think.
Excellent. Well, thank you for spending time with us on some Derry good news. We appreciate it.
My pleasure. Thank you for having me. I look forward to getting to meet everyone in person. Hopefully soon. We'll see how this all this COVID stuff plays out.
Well, thank you, and stay safe and stay well.
Yes, thank you, and you too, and all of you. Yes.
We're excited when we get to know Pam a little more. We'll have some special Zoom calls that people will be able to join in, talk to Pam a little bit, some for our youth and their parents, for a choir, for kids. More information will come in this week's e-news and later about those times. Now, I had a special request this week from one Nicola Burke. She thought the world could use a Reverend Tim Tom song. Now, Reverend Tim Tom is a character on the now ended a show The Middle that was on ABC. He's kind of a pastor who's a bit cheesy, so nothing like me at all, who plays guitars and sings kind of these sappy songs. So I want to take it one step further to do a song like that, but also do a parody of this other song I know from an old singing musical blog show called Dr. Horrible's Sing-Along Blog. It starred Neil Patrick Harris, Felicia Day, Nathan Fillion, and others. So here's a special song in this COVID time that reminds us that anyone and everyone can be a hero. So until next week, I hope you'll stay safe, stay well, and keep being Derry good news for others. If you have some Derry good news you'd like to share, please send it my way. It may not feel too easy living in quarantine, but you know who had it worse? Jesus the Nazarene. So you wonder what your part is, 'cause you're homebound and depressed. You're not a nurse or doctor, and you rarely even get dressed. Everyone's a hero in their own way, even with a mask on their face. So it's not the time to whine, 'cause folks, you know it's fine to shelter in place. Everyone's a hero in their own way, in their own not that heroic way. So you want to love your neighbor, yeah, that's the golden rule. Sometimes the best way to love is just not acting like a fool. So follow official orders and stay 6 feet away. Wash your hands and don't drink bleach, and never cease to pray. Everyone's a hero in their own way. Everyone's got something they can do. Thank those at Hershey Med. Believe what Fauci said and we'll get through. Everyone's a hero in their own way. You and Dr. Burks and you. So order local takeout. Try the Chick-fil-A drive-thru. You can do curbside pickup, just don't stand in a long line or queue. Everyone's a hero in their own way, like Noah who didn't swim out in the storm. Noah showed his faith by sheltering in place like our new norm. Everyone's a hero in their own way, in their own couch potato way. You you too can be a hero.
Some Terry good news, some Terry good news. We all